Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This weekend we are in Rouen, which is in Normandy in France, and behind us is one of the cathedrals in Rouen.
So join us as we road trip through Normandy, where we're going to visit some historic battlefields, some amazing cathedrals,
and hopefully eat some amazing food.
Welcome to The Right Life. We're Catherine and Edward, a married couple based in London with a passion for travel and experiencing the world together. On our channel, we share our adventures from uncovering hidden gems to learning about new cultures and discovering amazing historical sites. Join us as we explore the world.
This is right, yeah. Wait for them to spit the ticket out.
yay!
We really lucked out and were put on an earlier train. However, this gave us just a few minutes for a pit stop at the Eurotunnel terminal.
We're in the queue now for getting on the train. It's really quiet. Normally there's loads of cars, but today it's practically nothing. And
It's awesome.
it's supposed to be carnage tomorrow because it's bank holiday weekend. And last bank holiday weekend there were 15-hour delays, so that's why we've come Thursday night.
We had so many questions on our last video that we used the Eurotunnel. We thought we'd share some fun facts.
Fun fact number one, the Channel Tunnel is 31.35 miles long. 24 of those miles are underwater. Fun fact number two, it takes 35 minutes to travel on the Eurotunnel on the train. From the point the train leaves that gets to the other side is 35 minutes. There are in fact 3 tunnels. Fun fact number 4, typical builder's estimate had the construction costs at £3.5 billion, and it ended up costing over £15 billion. Fun fact number 4.5. Fun fact number 5. The biggest fear about the Channel Tunnel when it's opened was rabies. Believe it or not, the fear of rabies, because the UK hasn't had a recorded case of rabies in over 100 years, where it's rampant on the continent. Fun fact number 6, the TBM, or the tunnel boring machine as they're called, weighed 15,000 tonnes. Fun fact number 7, although we're very concerned about rabies, no one even bothered considering illegal immigration. So all the fences and everything else didn't go up until 10 years after the tunnel was built. That's all the fun facts I've got.
Well done. Is that because you wrote your college thesis, your university
I did.
thesis?
No, I wrote my college thesis on the Channel Tunnel, and I come down here and visited it.
Our hotel for the night was just minutes from the terminal in Calais, and we even had time to pop over to the ginormous City Europe Mall for dinner.
Right, well, we're in Calais. It's Friday morning. We just spent the night in the B&B hotels. For some reason, there are 3 of them. There's B&B Hotel 2, B&B Hotel 3, and B&B Hotel 4. So I don't know what happened to B&B Hotel 1. Perhaps it was destroyed. I don't know. The sun is just coming out. We're now headed off to a local boulangerie to get some croissants, and then we'll be heading down to Rouen later on this morning. And that's it.
After a quick trip to the wine shop where we recorded a birthday message from my sister, we were back on the road.
Hello from France. We're in the wine shop at the moment. We haven't had any yet, but a bit tired. But anyway,
Happy birthday. Happy 40th. And since we can't have a drink with you, we'll buy some to have for you.
We've just pulled off the road on our way to Rouen, and we are in Crécy, which is where one of the early battles were between the French and the English in the 100 Years War. Crécy, the Battle of Crécy was fought in 1346, when the English were ambushed by the French, but under the leadership of King Edward III, the English won a decisive victory in the 100 Years' War, which lasted 113 years and which ultimately England lost. Be careful, the old steps are a bit decrepit. Look at that view. Lucky cows. So basically, Edward III, King of England, would have been where we are standing now, overlooking his troops, and just across this ridgeline here, that's where his son was, the Black Prince, and the French were sort of in that sort of second ploughed field, the brown field, lined up across. Sorry, the Earl of Northampton on the left, Black Prince in the middle, and King Edward III in the vanguard. And you had Philip de Valois, and King Philip of France was dead ahead.
Outside of the, of course, really interesting history here, she makes a really good roadside stop. It's not too far off from the main road. You can go stretch your legs, and there's a bathroom.
And there's a bin, and there's a picnic table.
Yeah.
And there's all this glorious history.
And sun!
And sunshine, 70 degrees.
I'm a big fan of the sun.
It's lovely.
Awesome. Of course, this is the bathroom.
Finally, we'd arrived to Rouen and headed out to see the town.
What I understand is some French guy collected a load of stuff. Some of it quite interesting. I wanted to give it to the Louvre, but it was too big, so I displayed it all in this local church. Staircase to nowhere. The Museum of Curiosities.
Thoughts? Recap? Explanation?
No idea what it is. Just a load of tat displayed in a nice way. It's one of those ones where the building's more interesting than the display, you know what I mean?
Just around the corner was the Rouen Museum of Fine Arts, and lucky for us, there was a special exhibit on the Normands, which included this quirky cartoon. This cute little figure is part of the 12th century Lewis chess set, which was found in Scotland. I really enjoy trying to read the stories on capitals. This one is about Adam and Eve, this one about Christ entering Jerusalem, and the final one is a band of musicians. Here's a Mars and Venus, and you can tell it's Venus, or Aphrodite. This Cupid, or Eros, depending what school you want to use, is taking the clothes off of Mars, who is Venus's lover.
So this one here is a Caravaggio, is it? The Flagellation of Christ. And this one over here is a Rubens. He liked a big canvas, didn't he?
And here we've got good old Hercules killing the Hydra.
I've come to view the tapestries. I get tired of that joke. What the hell is this in the middle here? I like the wallpaper colour. Yeah, this painting's super creepy. Baby Jesus looks like he's 150 years old. The Jan Steen. I think this one's Bacchus.
What kind of naughtiness is he getting up to? Is he still a good boy?
Nando's.
The Rouen Fine Arts Museum has the largest Impressionist collection in France outside of Paris, making this museum a must-see. This is something I've never seen before. It's a Blanche Monet. She was both the stepdaughter and the daughter-in-law of Claude Monet. They often painted together, and occasionally their works are mixed up. La Couronne first opened in 1345 as an inn, and over the centuries evolved into a gourmet restaurant. This is also where, in 1948, Julia Child was inspired to teach Americans about French cuisine.
How's dinner?
Dinner was fantastic. We're in the oldest restaurant in France.
It's all lit up like a Christmas tree now. This is a La Couronne where we just had dinner. 5-course meal. It's taken 3 hours to eat. Very nice though. That was super stressful. I had to look up the word for unleaded on Google Translate. Normally green is unleaded, but then you don't know with the French, do you?
We did it!
Yeah. What to care for over there? Perhaps to get some croissants or something.
Good idea. So gazole is diesel. Espam is not diesel.
Here we are in Honfleur, where you come to have arguments with people over parking because it's so difficult to get in here.
The face of relaxation after spending an hour looking for a parking spot.
This one's for you, Mum. Beautiful oyster. It's got liberated from the shell. The spare juice. Touch of lemon. Down the hatch. Oh. Looks nice. Another example of the lack of French health and safety. Yeah, slight drop into the drink.
The Church of St. Catherine is the oldest wooden church in France and was built during the late 15th century. It was meant to be a temporary structure to replace a stone church that had been destroyed during the 100 Years' War. The stunning double-vaulted ceiling resembles 2 overturned ships' hulls.
I think the general consensus is it is very lovely here, but it's way too busy. There's too many people. It took us an hour to park. It is lovely. I enjoyed my lunch, but is it worth coming here? I don't know. There's not much to do here other than eat and drink and sort of pop in and out of art galleries. But we've enjoyed it, but I don't think I'd go out of my way to come back here.
I don't think I'm at a point where I'm ready to spend 490 euros on a painting.
No,
No.
We're not making YouTube money yet.
I know, everybody watch our video more.
We had one more cider in Honfleur before driving back to Rouen. That evening, we checked out the Delirium Cafe, which had a wide range of Belgian beers.
Do you know where we are?
No.
This is the Atre de Saint Maclau, and this has been used as a cemetery since the Roman times.
Yeah.
However, during the Black Death in 1348, when 3/4 of the town's inhabitants died, this is where they brought all of the bones. Now, all the bones have actually been removed over time, although I think there might be 1 or 2 left that we can find if we want to go on a bit of a bone hunt.
Not really.
Well, you don't get a choice. But this has also been, the buildings have been used for students and for schools over the, since the last couple hundred years. So let's go see if we can figure out
You're
there's more.
gonna find a bone, are you?
Yeah, we're gonna find that there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Oh, okay.
Great, let's go. So we've got some headless statues, but because this was used as a cemetery, it was actually decorated with all these skull bones and crosses and hammers and sickles. It is thought that this dead cat, which is found on the wall, was to ward off evil spirits. What do you know about the Church of St. Maclou?
Nothing.
Right. The Church of St. Maclou was begun in 1436 and finished in 1521. It took almost 100 years to complete it, which is actually pretty good going. It is considered to be one of the best Gothic churches, one of the best flamboyant Gothic churches in Rouen. As beautiful as it is, the best part, surprisingly, is outside.
Is that where the pub is?
No. The best part of this church is in fact right above my head, and it is an apocalyptic scene. On the right hand of Jesus, you can see the people who are going to heaven, and on the left, the people who are being damned to hell. And as you go further down, you can see what's actually happening to those people. It's a very good reminder of why you come to church every week. You have little devils on the bottom. Things are not going well for those people. Bless you. We're in Rouen Cathedral, which was consecrated in October of 1063. So this is a really old place. Of course, the original cathedral has been built up and damaged and built up and damaged. And unfortunately right now, for us, it's obviously, you can see there's a lot of scaffolding behind me. There's some restoration work going on, but maybe when you come here, it'll all be done. But there's something very English in this church.
Yeah, maybe.
That isn't Edward, that we need to go find. This little chapel here is special because it is the only one on the south side of the building that the bombing from World War II on April 19th, 1944 didn't damage. Here we seem to have a row of saints. They are all named, but I can tell you this is St. Peter here, and we know that because he's holding the key. And I don't know how you tell a lot of the other ones apart. So here we have the very English thing. This is King Richard I, known as Richard the Lionheart. He was known for his courage and military prowess in the Crusades. He met his end at the small castle nearby in 1199 after being shot by a peasant's crossbow. These aren't creepy at all. One thing about so many of the monuments across Europe was that they were often really heavily damaged during World War II. And a lot of them were damaged by Allied bombs as France, Italy, and other countries were taken back. And Rouen Cathedral is no different. So 2 Allied bombs hit the cathedral, causing extensive damage. France did actually do a very good job of taking down anything and moving anything that was movable, storing it elsewhere, countries, chateaus. So a lot of the statuary was saved, but some of it didn't end up coming back to the cathedral, being put back up to 2016, which seems crazy. When you come about a 10-15 minute walk a little further outside of town is the Museum of Antiquities. And there's a lot of medieval stuff here. There's meant to be some Roman stuff here. And it should be a pretty solid collection.
That's not the cup of a carpenter. Sure, this is not part of the exhibit.
And here we have our bread and butter. A Roman mosaic, really well preserved Roman mosaic. We have a little collection of Mercuries, the messenger god. This is a funerary monument, and it is bigger than me. Apparently this is one guy's collection. He was an archaeologist, and he donated it to the museum. Very cool collection of Egyptian stuff. I like the the wall of Roman randomness. It's awesome. Upstairs from the Museum of Antiquities is a very old school looking Museum of Natural History. So let's explore a bit. It's a little scary. Got bats, weasels. Keep in mind, people thought this was okay. This is not okay. Oh no, this is definitely not okay. This just makes me sad.
What's that, boy? He's trapped down a well?
Oh God.
Yeah, it looks like one of our ancestors up there. An elephant.
I'm right with you, kid. I want to scream too.
I don't think the taxidermist was the best. These lions have seen better days. I think it's sad. Oh God, there's one there. In a jar. No wonder that kid's crying. There's like an unborn kangaroo in a jar over there.
There's a two-headed calf over there.
Really? You only see them in fairs. As a great philosopher once said, I wouldn't like one of those swimming up my arse. There's no censorship in France. No mollycoddling the children in this country. You've got some unborn pigs in a jar here.
No trigger warning or anything.
Double-headed sheep. The guy who's done this, right, the eyes are all wrong. I mean, look at the state of this one. It's just like crazy eyes. We've come to the Archaeological Museum behind us in Rouen, and we just had a look around. It's free today, which is great. And they had a very good Roman exhibit and a little Egyptian exhibit, which was good. And then the whole first floor was just full of horrific taxidermy, which I've taken some video of, and you'll see later. Anyway, we're off to explore Rouen.
Because you know there's one thing that you cannot come to the city and not talk about.
What's that? Joan of Arc?
Yes, so we're going to go on her trail a bit.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, let's go, Andy Armo.
Behind me is the last remaining bastion of the Castle of Rouen, and this is where Joan of Arc was held after she was captured by the English. First, we need to know who Joan of Arc was. She was a peasant who had been born in 1412, and when she was around 17 or 18, she had a vision that she could help King Charles save France and get rid of the English. So she was sent to Orleans as part of the backup army, and somehow, after 9 days of siege, the English just left. So I thought, oh, she could be our secret weapon, and she convinced the French army to aggressively pursue the English. And this actually had them on their tails and turned the tide of the 100 Years' War. It wasn't long, however, until she was actually captured by some French-speaking allies to the English. She was handed over to the English, and she was tried for blasphemy and heresy, because who has visions, and she was a woman wearing pants. Clearly, we can't have any of that. And she was held in this tower before she was burned alive. So behind me is the beautiful Church of...
I wouldn't say it's beautiful.
Behind me is the Church of Joan of Arc, and somewhere around here is the actual spot that she was burned at the stake. So we're going to go find that spot.
This apparently is where they burnt Joan of Arc at the stake. And if she was born today, they would have diagnosed her with schizophrenia and given her lithium, and she wouldn't have had any visions. But luckily, you know, she foretold the defeat of the English, and after she died, 20 years later, the English were defeated.
2002 was my first ever trip to Europe. I had a job in Germany, and at the time, my Uncle Stephen lived in Paris, so I bookended that trip by flying in and out of Paris. And on my very last day, we did this crazy road trip from Paris to Omaha Beach, because I have a relative buried there. And on the way back, really late at night, we stopped here and took this picture of me, which I think might be right over here, but I didn't look at it before we came, so I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, this is the first time I've gotten to see Rouen, but certainly not the first time I have been here.
Well, what we have here is an astronomical clock with a mechanism from the 1300s. Can you believe that? It survived the Second World War, and it's been running for nearly 800 years. That's almost when the last time Arsenal won the Premier League. I'm going to be doing this for a while because they're lovely.
Ribbit, ribbit.
Edward was daring with his frog leg starter, but I stuck with Old Faithful. Escargot. For mains, we both had fish risotto. Sadly, the next morning it was time to head back to Calais, and ultimately home. However, after all of the 100 Years' War history we've learned this weekend, we thought it'd be wrong to not stop at the Agincourt battlefield.
Right, we have made it to Agincourt. This was a decisive victory for the English in the 100 Years' War. 1415. Basically, King Henry V was making his way back to Calais after sacking Honfleur, which is the town we went to a couple of days ago. He lost a third of his men to dysentery, taking the town, and then he had to garrison the town of Honfleur once they'd captured it, and then they marched back to Calais overland. And it's during the march back that they were attacked by the King of France and his army. And they put a bit of a spin on it here. They're saying that it was only 2-1, but some historians think the English were outnumbered 5-1, and 80% of the English army were Welsh archers, longbowmen, and basically they all got stuck in the mud, the French, as they advanced, and they got slaughtered, and they captured so many of the French aristocracy that basically it decapitated the French sort of government for the next 10 years. And yeah, that's it. So we're here today. It's nothing but appears to be wheat fields now, so it's very windy. There's a stone memorial, and they've constructed a viewing platform to look over the beautiful French countryside on a lovely Maybank holiday. And that's it. So this is the French side. Down there, there's a kiosk, and that's where you claim back your tax on the beer and alcohol that you've bought. That's if you haven't bought it in the duty free, which is here. There's some automatic machines there, or these little windows have got people in, and you can talk to them, and you just keep hold of your receipts for your alcohol, and you can claim the tax back on it. Other than that, it's very similar to the British side. You got a Starbucks, a Burger King, a French version of a sandwich shop, and then you got your duty free, and then the toilets and all that. And it just calls your car up and it gives you the countdown, and then that's it, job done.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. There are more adventures to come.
So yeah, I mean, we like using it. We discovered it quite late.
We're idiots.
Yeah, we discover a lot of things quite late. It's like...
So leave us in the comments. What are we missing?
I don't know, what other exciting tunnels are there in the world? I know that you can drive under or through or whatever it is. What other great infrastructure have you travelled across? I know they've got some pretty amazing stuff in Japan. I think this used to be the longest underwater tunnel in the world until they built something in Japan. So yeah, by all means, tell us, give us your ideas, because we might end up going there one day and making a video about it. That's not the cup of a carpenter. Sheep. Lots and lots of sheep. It's twice you caught me farting on camera.